HarperAudio presents Night of the Living Deb, a Debutante Dropout mystery by Susan McBride, performed by Amy Mcfadden. I don't want anyone's life on my hands. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. Prologue. Circular pleats of red velvet draped the ceiling above Brian Malone's head, a dimly lit chandelier dripping down from the center. If nothing else about the men's club had cried bordello but that, it would have been plenty. There were tacky touches wherever he looked, if he needed reminders that he was in a strip joint. He didn't. Barmaids in red corsets, short black skirts, and high black boots served overpriced drinks. Bored-looking women in G-strings writhed on nearby laps, swiveling club chairs making for easy access. Green and blue laser lights flashed with Jedi intensity as deafening music pounded the air with a throbbing bass. Like there wasn't enough throbbing going on as it was. The place could call itself a gentleman's club, but it was a strip joint, plain and simple, despite the upscale clientele of horny, mostly white-collar males. When he'd pulled up to the waiting valet in his Acura coupe, it had been the lesser in a line of luxury automobiles disgorging Rolex-wearing passengers to the curb beneath a well-lit porte-cochere. More Mercedes and Jags than you could shake a stick at, so to speak. It was his buddy's idea to come here, a final request before he was due to get hitched in a few weeks, a destination wedding in Tuscany just for the bride and groom and their immediate families. The men's club wasn't Brian's first choice as a site for celebration. He would have been happy as a clam sucking on the long neck of a Shiners at any number of local bars with ESPN on the tube and the noise of folks shooting pool. But Maddie wanted a lap dance as a final adios to bachelorhood, and a lap dance he would get. Brian had been to this establishment on Dallas's northwest side a couple times before. Once for business, when a client of the firm wanted to check out the local action before he caught a flight out of nearby Love Field, and again when he'd been dating Allie Price and she'd been curious to see what was inside the pink stucco walls, behind the front windows filled with peekaboo lingerie. He didn't plan on becoming a regular. There was an air of desperation hanging overhead as surely as the red velvet pleats in the ceiling, not a feeling he ever wanted under his own skin. Another hour, and then we're out of here, he decided as he polished off a third Peroni, adding to the vague fog that lapped at his gray cells. 3 was his limit for tonight. He was the designated driver on this little R-rated field trip, so the bar was as good as closed for him. A slender brunette in stilettos and little else strutted past him and straddled the lap of a wild-eyed dude at the next table, a couple pals cheering them on, and he shifted in his own chair, embarrassed at the, public display. But then he knew that's what this place was for, getting an eyeful. Look, don't touch. Right. He wondered if Hugh Hefner ever got tired of living the cheesy life, but figured, nah, the dude probably bled Velveeta. Hey, bride, check out that babe's rack. You think they're real? He shifted his gaze to the woman gyrating on the small stage. She ignored the shiny pole that Demi Moore had so energetically flung herself around in striptease, doing a truly uninspired bump and grind to AC/DC's Who Made Who. He'd noticed how few of the dancers ever used the thing, except for balance. So much for choreography. The babe's rack looked anything but real to him. As big as ripe cantaloupes, they barely moved as she shimmied, so roundly perfect and pert that they were almost comical, like a cartoon, or Pamela Anderson. Not even close to real. He weighed in. Matty Karras, the groom-to-be, bobbed his head. Silicone? Saline, I'd wager. Fewer lawsuits? Yep. Their firm regularly defended Big D surgeons who'd done botched boob jobs, but that didn't mean he was an expert in augmentation. He only knew what he liked, and it wasn't the kind of uniformity he saw parading around him beneath the red velvet and crystal chandelier. It was actually kind of frightening, as if
Sample complete. Ready to continue?